now tell me one thing that nobody knows about you. In 1994, I did a bicycle ride from San Francisco, California to Washington, D.C. called the Journey of Hope. I did this in college as part of my fraternity, Pi Kappa Phi. 59 other Pi Kappa Phis from around the country met in San Francisco and did this ride across the country. Each of us had to raise $4,000 to go to our fraternity-founded philanthropy, Push America. That money went to raise awareness. It also went to do programs that would help raise additional funds for people with disabilities. It was just a really good time. It was the best way to see the country and also help people out that maybe needed some help, and it was a life-changing summer for me. Are you serious? I did the same thing in 1994 as well. It was so much fun. But anyway, let's get to talking about Gemini Multimedia. Tell me a little bit about Gemini Multimedia. I started Gemini Multimedia in 2008 out of necessity. I'd been doing transfers for people where I'd take their videotapes or VHS tapes, their camcorder tapes, and convert them to a digital format like a DVD or a digital file, and thought I'd make some money doing that. So I started, at the time I called it Gemini Media Transfer Service. And then about a year and a half later, one of my BNI chapter members, Tom Dorian, asked me if I would shoot video of his mother's 70th birthday party. And I'd never done it professionally. I'd been shooting video for about 10 or 12 years, but I'd never done it professionally. And he wanted to pay me, and I told him, I was like, Tom, I've never done that before for someone as a job. So I'm a little bit nervous doing it. He says, no, you'll be fine. Go ahead and take care of it for me. So I did, and I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. And I took a couple other smaller jobs and enjoyed those too. A few months later, I was able to upgrade my video equipment and started taking jobs doing video in addition to the media transfers. And that was when I changed the name from Gemini Media Transfer Service to Gemini Multimedia. Then about a year later after that, another BNI chapter member, Melissa Turner, who opened up a store called Sugar Plum Consignments, asked me if I would take some still shots of some models wearing clothes that were from her boutique. And again, I told her I'd never done that professionally. So I knew the concepts and I knew how to take pictures, I knew how to do it well, but I'd never done it for money. So she insisted that I do it. She said, I like the eye that you have, I've seen it in your videos, and I think it would translate great into still photography. So I went and found a cheap DSLR, still had my flash from about 20 years earlier, and took some pictures of those models wearing the clothes in her boutique, and it was a lot of fun too. So I did another couple of jobs, upgraded my equipment there. So now I was able to offer media transfers, I was able to offer video, and I'm able to offer photography. Wow, that's a really interesting story. Now, why don't you tell me, are there any shoots that stick out in your mind? Well, I have a couple. A former BNI chapter member, well actually he's a current BNI chapter member, Bruce Orpit, and I were working on a trade. I was getting some products, in fact, this shirt's one of them, and in exchange for some video, and he drove me all over Memphis interviewing some of his clients for, to get some testimonials on how awesome Bruce is, and Bruce, I do think you're awesome. But how awesome Bruce is that Bruce could put on his website. Well, we went to the Orpheum. He was going to interview Pat Halloran, and they just happened to be giving Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin fame his star on the walk around the Orpheum on the sidewalk there. And I had a front row seat. Bruce and I were sitting together. Bruce is just ecstatic about this because he grew up loving Led Zeppelin. I'm ecstatic about this because I had my video camera with me and I'm literally 6 feet away from this musical legend. So I got video of him being presented this award by Pat Halloran, and it was just really cool. Another favorite shoot of mine, I was shooting a wedding with a contemporary of mine, and I got cut loose about 8 o'clock because there's no need to have two people shooting a wedding reception. As I'm packing my bag, this guy walks over to me and says, "Are you the house photographer?" And I'm like, no, I was just shooting the wedding reception over across the hallway. And then he said, "Well, would you like to take some pictures of Molly Ringwald?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'd love to take some pictures of Molly Ringwald." So I go to where her little concert is. I didn't know that she was singing now. She's apparently a jazz singer now, and she does it very well. And I Was the only guy in the whole room with good camera equipment, and got some really great shots of that evening. And now I got Robert Plant and Molly Ringwald as part of my portfolio. And they were both really fun shoots and really nice people to meet. Wow, Robert Plant and Molly Ringwald, that's pretty cool. So tell me a little bit about what your favorite things are to take pictures or videos of. That kind of depends. I guess if I were to tell you right now what my favorite thing to take pictures of, it is people doing really cool things. I like to take a snapshot of people doing fast action and either get it in a freeze frame to where you have all this really cool motion that's just completely stopped, or in kind of a cool, artistic, creative way, show that motion in a picture. Some of the picture may be blurry, some of the picture may be in focus, but it gets the message across. And it's like my goal is, if you're not actually at that event, you can almost feel like you were at that event by looking at my pictures or by looking at my video. And then I get to see the reaction on their faces of how happy they are when they see the completed product. Well, that's awesome. I mean, it's always fun to make people happy. I mean, that's why we're all in business. We want to make people happy and have them to keep coming back. Now, what target markets are you looking for? As far as my target market goes, I have 3: marketing directors, social media consultants, and brand managers. I'm comfortable sitting in meetings with C-level executives who have a vision for a video that they want to show, but they may not know how to get that on paper. I can help them get that on paper, turn that into a plan, and get the video shot, and then deliver a final product, usually within a very short amount of time. Okay, so we've got marketing directors, we've got social media consultants, we've got brand managers. Now, how can someone in your BNI chapter help you get connected to those people? If there are no pictures on your clients' websites, that would be a great referral to me. I need to talk to their marketing director or their webmaster or their content manager. There's many different names for it. All you got to do is say who's responsible for content on your website, and that will be a good referral for me. If they don't have video on that website, or they've got bad video on that website, or they may even have great video on that website, but the audio quality is horrible, that's another good referral for me. Again, the same people. Who's in charge of the content for your website? That would be a good question to ask to get me in the door. Well, that's some really good information there, ANDe. I hope that everyone can take that and use that and help bring you some referrals. And I know you want to help them out as well. Thanks for being here. Now I'm going to turn it over to ANDe back in the room.